prime time on the top game, it's a fine line. Man in the match, that's Daveye, he's the main guy, keep a close eye. Make sure you don't make no wrong play, cause I'm with Jose and Andre. And when Cyrus comes to walk in, you better know that you are watching Premier League. Daveye, tell them what time we on, what time we on. Prime time, let me hear you say Premier League. Daveye, tell them what time we on, what time we on. Time.
Hello and welcome back to Premier League Primetime, and of course I'm here to give you a preview to the big clash at the weekend, or should I say the big, or could potentially, probably will be the big one-sided affair of Manchester United as they host long-standing rivals Liverpool at Old Trafford. I'm not going to mention the score of the aggregate games, or the aggregate score of the two games last year. But you know what? I'm here, of course, with a few Liverpool fans, and or should I say, I should call this, the factos trio. I should call it. I'll start off with the man below me, Mr. Ben Guile, Benny G. How are we doing, my friend?
Good.
And of course, also joined by Mr. Ben Arias. How are we doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you, Sir Davis.
And of course, we're also joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Neymar equivalent of a center back, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. San Jose Earthquakes, Mr. MLS, Mr. Fulham, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Teilo. How are we doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right, just trying to, soak in, all the happiness I can possible before Monday, because I just have no optimism as Benny G has some great footage of my reaction as that fourth goal went in. That was just some priceless footage. And I was definitely very happy on the day. But let's just get into it. Manchester United versus Liverpool. And now, to be honest with you, when one first looks at this game, everyone's already thinking, yeah, we already know which way this game's going to go. But when you really dive deep into it, this game could actually be more interesting, potentially could be more interesting than some people could imagine. But Taylor, let's start with you. We'll start with Manchester United, right? Looking at their wonderful start to the Premier League campaign, losing to Brighton by 2-1. 4 deadly goals against Brentford. That was great for me to watch as well. 4 goals in 35 minutes. Looking at this Manchester United squad, what do you think, in your opinion, needs to be done in preparation for this Liverpool clash? Where do you think Liverpool could be targeted, exposed? Potentially, what players are there to watch out for? Probably quite the obvious question. But what do Manchester United really need to do? What does Ten Hag need to cement in order to have this squad fully prepared and ready for Liverpool?
I think it's just going to come down to two things, which are just snapping back to reality and taking risks. Like, you really just need to wake up from the Brentford result like that. Just like, it seems like the players are like just not really aware entirely of what's happening. Maybe the reality of the situation, like you just lost 4-0 to Brentford. Like, losing 4-0 to anyone is bad. And like, I honestly, full respect to Brentford, but this is just a game that should, in theory, on paper, not be happening, though on paper doesn't mean anything. And which is why I think this United Liverpool game could be pretty interesting, and why I think United just need to take some risks. Like, if you stay with like a lot of the same like stagnant players, Liverpool are not going to know exactly what to expect. And just, I think you really have to look for some picks out of left field, like maybe Malacia coming in at left back, or keeping Luke Shaw on the side as a left center back, going with a back three, although the back three has failed them at Liverpool twice now. So I don't know. It's really just going to have to come down to taking risks, pulling some surprises. And this Liverpool team have proven they're not perfect to start the season and are looking weak in a couple of spots, mostly just due to injuries more than anything else. But still, like, games happen when they happen, and it's happening right now. So you just might as well take advantage of these injuries while you still can. Target the center back weaknesses, look for just, trying to get in behind, forcing either Trent to just basically forcing Trent to not play his game. And that I think will subsequently cut off Salah as well, who's, on the same right flank. Although obviously, no matter what, no matter how bad they're playing, both can pop up with a goal. So really just take risks. Don't be scared of this game, even though it's probably terrifying for them, mostly the fans, but also for the players.
It's definitely terrifying for me. As we can all recall, what happened the last time Liverpool came to Old Trafford. That was, and I'll say this: if this is a full-strength Liverpool team, Manchester have no chance. They have absolutely no chance. I think anyone can say that. But you look at the injuries, as you've mentioned, and I think that's sort of the only reason why they have somewhat of a chance. Joel Matip's out, Ibrahim Konate's out, Thiago's out, Jota's out, Firmino's out. Darwin Nunez is out. So, of course, Mane's gone. They're thin in the attack, relatively thin in midfield. They had to play Nat Phillips at center back. Although I think Joe Gomez is fit, I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
Liverpool are thin at the moment. They don't have their entire squad with them. So I think that's probably the only thing I could say why Manchester United somewhat have a chance in this game. But before we get on to Liverpool, Ben, over to you. In your opinion, right? What do you think Eric Ten Hag's best possible 11 that he has that he should go with for this Liverpool side? And then Benny G, I'll get into you when we get to Liverpool.
Oh, okay.
Just so we can, yeah, I was gonna say to distinguish the difference, Benny G and Ben there.
Okay. The best possible 11. I don't think Ericsson had a very convincing game. I think a lot of the mistakes kind of came from him. Yeah, I think I'd sub him out. I think I'd put what's a good I mean, people would say bench Maguire, but I feel like it's kind of like inevitable that he plays.
Very
It doesn't
true.
seem like anybody is going to ever take any action to take him out. Even though, like you said, he didn't have the worst of games other than that, slip up, but it didn't actually cost him a goal. Yeah, I think taking out Ericsson, I think the attack should remain how it is. It wasn't that bad. I can't recall a starting 11 off the top of my head, but yeah, like Teilo said, I wouldn't try to go with the back three just because Liverpool like to play if the wing backs are pretty high, and Liverpool like to play like we saw the game against Crystal Palace. The majority of their attacks came from the wings because they're kind of lacking options during the middle. So I think they're mostly going to come in through the wings. So it's better not to have a 5 in the back, and I think it's better to have 4. I'm not sure if you play Wan-Bissaka or not. I mean, the dude can defend and
He can
and
defend.
whatnot.
He can't cross though.
Yeah, and I think the reason why Crystal Palace got punished that game was they gave Diaz too much space.
Oh, they
So
let him come
definitely
and
have
start.
to look out for him. I know. I mean, he also scored that golazo as well.
That
But
was
yeah,
incredible.
definitely play it back forward, take out Ericsson, and I guess leave the attack.
All right, fair enough. If one were to ask me, I think whole scale changes need to be made. With the goalkeeping situation, I mean, unless if you're really going to play Tom Heaton, you don't really have another choice other than David De Gea. You don't have anyone else. Into right back, I think Diogo Dalot is one of the only ones that can actually keep his head held high. He's actually had 2 good performances. I actually really liked what I saw from him these 2 games, although he's just been in just 2 absolutely awful sides against Brighton and Brentford. He was putting in cross as well. His defensive games improved drastically. I've really liked what I've seen from Teilo. I've been hearing rumors that Maguire is in serious contention to be dropped. And if that's the case, it has to be Rafael Varane. And, I think this is finally going to be a game where I think Lisandro Martinez, this game will actually be suited to him, regardless of a Liverpool player up front, because it was very clear that Lisandro Martinez is going to struggle if he's up against someone with the physicality and height of Brian Mbeumo or Ivan Toney. That's not going to be easy. He's not going to be winning headers against Ben Mee. I just don't think that's very probable or realistic to ask, being 5'9". But he's very good on the ball. a very technical center back, and I think Lisandro would be great next to Varane. Luke Shaw, he's my guy, but he needs to be dropped. He's been awful for 2 games. So Tiro Malacia should definitely start. I know Ben is absolutely over the moon that I've said this for he does not rate Luke Shaw. I always thought he is terrible, even though
Terrible marker.
2 seasons ago. Into the midfield. I wish Casemiro were here now, although that's not going to be the case. I already know what that pivot it's going to be. It's going to be one of 2 options, and both options are dreadful. Playing Eriksen as a 6 or as a holding midfielder just doesn't work. Or Benny G's favorite option, which he's probably praying, it will most likely be McFred. And if it's McFred, I'm putting a blindfold on because I'm praying for the best. But I predict it will probably be, who knows? It could be McTominay and Eriksen. Who knows? It'll probably be mixed between those 2. I know Donny won't play, but if you're asking me, it has to be Fred and Donny, but I know it won't be that. Into the attacking trio, I'll play Eriksen through the middle at the 10. I think Bruno needs to be benched for a little while. My guy, Jadon Sancholini plays. I love this guy. He's phenomenal. He's just having a bad run of form. I think he's a fantastic player. Play Jadon Sancho on the right. I mean, you're really not going to play Garnacho. You're only left with Rashford. And Rashford just does not deserve to be playing right now. But you don't really have anyone else. Or actually, you
And Hog believes in him.
He wasn't bad against Brentford. It was just,
he was
he
dreadful.
could have had like 2 assists.
And
He was all right.
had a
You know
goal.
why I know this? Because I had him in my fantasy team. That's why.
I'll play Tony.
Terrible
I'm
pick.
bringing Ice Cold Tony back into this side. I'm bringing Ice Cold Tony.
It was
Oh
a punt.
No,
Ice Cold Tony
God.
Martial. You know the
Is
rest.
he fit? I thought he was out for another game still.
No, I think he might. If he is fit, I've been hearing rumors that he is fit. If he is fit, Ice Cold Tony goes straight back into the team, and then you don't really have anyone else but Cristiano to play up front, who's just done nothing. He did nothing against Brentford. Didn't even try to link the play. Nothing. All I saw him do was this. Just like Bruno Fernandes, and yeah, he needs to be dropped. So, but yeah, that'd be my 11.
Wait, could I say something?
Go for it.
I think that De Gea, you always, as a player, you always have those games where you just kind of like your head's not totally into it, and I think that's kind of what happened to De Gea last game. And the only way he's gonna like regain his confidence and whatnot is if he starts. I don't know how good the other goalkeeper is, but
Tommy
De
inside.
Gea has been playing it for a long time, and I have faith in him that he'll bounce back.
He
Here's
does
my
it
thing
a
with
lot,
De Gea.
though. He did that for
He's a good shot
Spain.
stopper. He's a good shot stopper.
Spain's a whole different issue.
He's a
than
good
what's going
shot
on at
stopper,
Man
but
United.
he's not
Yeah.
good with his feet. He's not.
Yeah.
He's awful with his feet. I mean,
Better
why are you
than
playing that pass to Eriksen in the first place like that? I mean, both. I mean, he's mainly at fault for that. I mean, sure, you can say Eriksen was trying to be too cute in the box, but you don't play that ball to Eriksen in the first place. You clear that out, and I don't know what he was doing, but and it's getting into Liverpool. Benny G, I'll ask you the same questions. Looking at this wonderful Manchester United side at the moment, world class, bottom of the league, 0 points, 0 goals scored, 20th, bottom of the league, bottom of the table. What in your
1
opinion?
goal scored.
On goal,
Oh, that was
It
an
was
own
an
goal.
own
That
goal.
was an own goal.
Yeah,
And-
tragic.
If you think about it, Manchester United failed to score against Liverpool. Manchester United are going to have to choose an own goal for goal of the month. How bad would that be for their social media?
Yeah, they said the same thing at Arsenal last year.
I
They'll
know
be
that's
fine.
bullshit, bro.
But anyways, Benny G, in your opinion, what in your opinion needs to be done in preparation for this Manchester United game? Where can they be targeted and exposed? I think that's again quite the obvious team selection for this game as well.
So you want what am I talking about? Liverpool or Manchester United?
Both.
Why else would I come to you? Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay. I thought they were they're obviously vulnerable on the counterattack. That's just how they play. Robertson and Trent bomb forward, and it's left with the 2 center backs and Fabinho to defend.
Oh, yeah.
but that's just how they play, and they need to uh, attack that problem by scoring their 17 chances against Crystal Palace. I think attacking wise, they weren't that creative. They were just crossing it at every possible chance. And like I know you have Darwin, or you had Darwin at up top, but like I think that should give them, in my opinion, another option, but not the only option, because before it was like Firmino or even Mane was playing
Mhm.
the false nine, and they
So
were
definitely.
pinging the ball around. Like I remember Mane. I remember this one goal. I think the second game against Manchester United last year, where they
Mhm.
were just pinging the ball around, and
Yeah.
Mane out of nowhere just plays this perfect through ball to Salah.
Yep.
There was like none of that against Crystal Palace. I can't say against Fulham because it was really early. I didn't watch that game. Um, but there was the creativity that I've seen previously with them, and when they're at their best, it wasn't really there against Crystal Palace. And it if they want to be back to where they were last season, it needs to be there. Um, so bottom line, that's what they got to do, is just be more creative. I don't know if Tiago not being in the side has anything to do with it, but he's not always he's not like super involved with everything. I think it's more like Trent that's the main guy for the creativity. So I think it's an easy fix. Just play the ball more. Don't cross it at every possible opportunity. Try to keep it on the ground. And they did a little bit of that after Darwin got a red card, and they got one goal. It was just they had less one less man on the field, so it was, they weren't trying to take too many risks.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, and if you're Jurgen Klopp, what team do you go with? Looking at the injury problems, of course, but having no potential striker options up front. Um, what 11 do you settle for Manchester United? And wait, but before I get into that, we did touch a bit on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ben, to go over to you. I know you praise Trent Alexander-Arnold time and time
No,
again.
I do not. No, I do not.
His wonderful defensive qualities, as he constantly mentions over and over. In the words of a friend of ours, Trent's defensive abilities, world class, absolutely world class. Ben, any thoughts on Trent Alexander-Arnold's wonderful defensive abilities that you praise time and time again?
Oh,
On his job.
if the Man United goal is going to come, it's going to come from Trent. You saw that in the Fulham game. Zaha could have easily scored again because Trent didn't know how to mark in the second half. You saw that again.
Yeah.
And even in the Champions League final, I'm like, the dude cannot mark or defend. His greatest attribute, obviously, is attacking, but he also needs to know how to defend a little bit better. And I don't think Phillips is the man to help him enough. I mean,
Well, you don't
I
have
guess you could put in Gomez, but still.
you don't have too many options, to be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
not.
I mean, I wasn't impressed by Phillips in the first goal or the only goal of Crystal Palace, but I guess you put in Gomez instead. I mean, who else do you have?
You don't. That's the thing. You don't really have.
Vandenberg, and that's it. Dipping into youth prospects.
You don't really
Poor
have
forgotten lad.
options.
I mean, he's still quite young. So
You don't have a lot of options there. But Benny G, getting back to what 11 would you go for? Would you make any changes to the team that Klopp fielded against Crystal Palace, or would you say the same 11? What would you say?
I think the back line, if Gomez is fit, I think I'd trust him over Nat Phillips. And then the rest of the back line, just you don't need to make changes to any of them. In the midfield, I think Henderson should probably get into the starting 11. And probably for Milner, because he's 30 35 or whatever, 36. I don't know how old he is, but he's really old. And
Still got the legs, man.
yeah, he's
Playing
still
right
got
back.
him, but
Legend.
He sailed it. In Europe.
if it comes to between him and uh Harvey Elliott, I think Henderson's more of a similar player to Milner than Harvey Elliott. So
Yeah.
it's more of a balanced midfield if you have Henderson, Fabinho, and Harvey Elliott.
Okay. And also, I think we know who two of the front three is, but who Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah, I think are just givens. But who would the third man be? That's I think kind of the conundrum you're
Yeah, that's true. It's probably they probably put Carvalho, aka Bruno Mars, on the
Leg risk.
like I don't know. I think he's a left winger usually.
Yeah.
So at Fulham, he played Cam mostly, and I mean, almost was never on the left wing just because in the championship there are too many options there. But I think it's notable that in his Premier League starts that he had in right before we got relegated in the 1920 season, he scored goals while playing as a false nine, and he's played though so far under Klopp as a left winger, subbing in for Luis Diaz. But I'd say give him a run out at false nine if neither of Jota and Firmino are ready. Probably if both of those two are fit but not immediately fit, and someone just needs to be trusted right from the get-go, go with Firmino just because he's the trusted
But
man
is he fit?
in the Liverpool system. We
Yeah,
don't know
if
if either of
Firmino's
them
fit.
are fit. Yeah.
But if he's
If
not fit,
if he's not fit, then probably go with Jota. The more senior options you
I think he's
trust.
injured
I
as well.
love Carvalho, but like
Jota is also injured though.
yeah, he's just coming back, and I think he's expected to make his return this game specifically.
Oh,
just lack
okay.
of options.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I was pretty sure he's going to be out of the Palace game, but as much as I love Carvalho, it'd be a big risk starting him immediately. But if like it all depends on how fit like Firmino and Jota are. Like if Jota is like barely got the legs to run, like use him as a sub and just give Carvalho the chance. Like obviously he's not going to get a better shot than that. Like just give it to him.
Let's say hypothetically, right, that Jota isn't fit to start, Firmino's not fit to start, and it's Carvalho, Mohamed Salah, and Luis Diaz, right? Who would you play in that likely it would be a false nine position, right? Would you have Luis Diaz start there? Or would you have Carvalho start there?
Carvalho for sure. He's, I mean, more natural as a cam more than anything. So definitely put him in the false nine. Although I don't know if he's ready, but yeah, just Luis Diaz doesn't look too great as a false nine. I think he's just also been so great on the left wing. Like you don't need to really change it. The weird one you could pull is shifting Diaz out to the right, Salah up to striker, and Carvalho out to left wing. But I think that's just, unnecessarily shifting out too many positions. Like it theoretically works. If that's what, yeah. If that's what somehow makes Carvalho comfortable, that's what you should do. But like, honestly, it's going to be pretty fluid anyway. Just give the kid a run on false nine or Jota or Firmino if they're ready. All the same.
That's fair. And of course, lastly, we will get into, yes, we somehow have a combined 11 for Manchester United versus Liverpool. Only because there are injuries is the reason why Man United will probably get a few players into this lineup. It's only been 2 games. I guess we'll do it off of both form and quality at the same time. Both injuries are taken into account so we can make this a little balanced for the time being. In goal, I think this is going to be an easy one. It's Alisson or David De Gea. I'm pretty sure what this one's going to be. Benny G, I'll start with you. Is this a no-brainer?
Nah, I was thinking go De Gea. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll go Alisson.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I mean, if we have too few United players in at the end and we want to be nice, then we can sub in De Gea, I guess. I don't know.
But who would your nominee go to?
Alisson. Oh, Alisson. Yeah.
That's fair.
On form and quality, yeah. I mean, neither have been particularly great, but Alisson's not at fault for the Liverpool goals, and he's only conceded like 3. Like that's not. That's less than one half of United football. So
look, I'm not even gonna ask Ben. I'm just gonna but it's Alisson. It has to be Alisson.
Oh yeah, bro, come on now.
Yeah, it has to be Alisson. That was dreadful.
Yeah, if we're including form, then definitely.
Yeah. Into right back. Now, people may laugh,
Oh my
He's
God!
15.
Don't you fucking dare!
I'm not
I
saying
think
Wan-Bissaka. I'm not saying
Delup's done
Wan-Bissaka. I'm not saying
well.
Wan-Bissaka.
I know you're saying Delot, and Delot's done okay, but like, come
Oh
on.
my God.
But all I'm gonna say is that if we're saying form, then
You said form
but
and quality. I
yes,
think
but
Trent's quality.
you
Neither
don't
of them
let me
have
get to it.
form.
It's gonna be Trent
Neither of them
Alexander-Arnold.
have
It's gonna
form,
be
man.
Trent. It'll probably be Trent
Neither of
Alexander-Arnold.
them.
But
Come
I'm
on.
just throwing
No.
it out there because it's always good to throw out the two
Yes.
possibilities.
Let's just
Between
do like
Delo, Trent Alexander-Arnold. This one
Yes.
is also a no-brainer, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, Delo's
fair.
good at.
Yeah,
He's
that's fair.
decently offensively, but Trent is way better at what Delo is good at, and
That's fair.
Delo isn't necessarily a great defender either. So
No, he's not. He
Yeah.
definitely is not. But
Trent.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, we'll take the right back slot. Into the two. Actually, what we'll just do the one center back because we already know Van Dijk's just gonna
Left back and center back.
the other center back. Maybe this could be a Man United player just for the sake of balance. Just for the sake of balance. You have the likes of, but you still have the likes of Joe Gomez, Nat Phillips. You have the likes of Varane, who's amazingly fit for once. You have 80 million pound man. I'm not going to mention him. You have Martinez.
Big slab.
Paradise.
I'll go with Lisandro. I'm not going with Maguire. I'm not.
I'd probably say Varane just because no one has been good as a United center back. And at this point, I'm so close to picking Gomez, but Gomez hasn't played, so I won't pick him. But just Varane's the best out of the three center backs in terms of quality.
I mean,
everyone is in bad form.
I'm gonna go with Lisandro because at least he's played.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
I was also gonna go for Varane.
Yeah,
that's fine. Ben, are you saying Varane over Lisandro?
Pick Gomez.
I haven't seen Varane play in a while, so I'll go Lisandro.
Fair.
If it's level, I'll give it to Lisandro just because he's played. And I actually thought against Brighton, I actually didn't think Lisandro had a bad game against Brighton. I actually thought he was okay. Not obviously far from the best, but I thought he was all right. I didn't think he was too bad.
I mean,
obviously against Brentford, he had an absolute horror show against Brentford.
So did everyone.
The moment I saw him and Ben Mee jump for that header, I just covered my eyes. I already knew that was gonna.
He didn't jump.
Yeah, it's not his fault that he's stuck marking him. Like whoever's in charge of organizing that defense, probably Maguire, because he's got the armband, or De Gea. You should be organizing in your box. Like that's not Lisandro's fault. It's fair. Man needs time to adjust. He just came over from the Eredivisie.
For now, I'll say Lisandro. For now. It could easily been Varane. Left back, Luke Shaw versus Andrew Robertson. If this were 2 seasons ago, I would say I would be bigging up my boy Luke Shaw, but I'm sorry, it can't. I can't. Schaberto Carlos, I'm sorry, I can't bail you. I can't defend you here. We'll just say Andrew Robertson, move on to the midfield.
Even last season, you were still defending him, Davis, and I'm like, how? It was like right after Liverpool had thrashed Man United 5-0, and he's like, still, Luke Shaw is a great outside back, I swear.
He's being ran into the ground every single game.
Oh my God.
I don't think he's the worst.
He's never goal side. I've never seen him goal side in my life.
Look, Luke Shaw didn't have the best seasons last year.
Yeah.
I still thought he was our best left back last year, but that does not speak volumes. It doesn't speak volumes.
Or tell us, man.
It doesn't speak volumes.
Tell us.
Yeah, would you be saying this highly of Luke Shaw if he didn't do so well at the Euros?
He also did well before the Euros.
He had a fantastic year in the Premier League.
I think it's important to note that
he had a phenomenal season before the Euros.
Yeah.
Mourinho thought Walker was better than Shaw.
Was that like right when Bruno Fernandes got there?
It was Bruno's second season.
It was when Teles was signed. It was just before, because Teles was signed as competition, then Shaw decided to just play, insane football.
Okay.
So I mean,
started that 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I remember Manchester United wasn't that bad. Like before they signed Ronaldo, basically.
No, and that's the thing that they were on fire. Pogba was on fire. Bruno Fernandes was on fire. A certain young English player. I'm not naming his name for I think we all know why.
Scum.
He was scoring left, right, and center. He was playing well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think we can leave his name out. He was playing well.
Doesn't deserve it.
A lot of players are playing well.
Cavani, man.
even
Jeez.
looks better, but look, I'm not saying it's all due to Cristiano Ronaldo, but then that team just went down the drain. But yeah, anyways, it's got to be Andrew Robertson.
You technically are, Davis.
Into the midfield. I think, you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool gets, the entirety of the midfield. I mean, for the three midfield options, for Liverpool at least, you have the likes of Harvey Elliott, Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, James Milner, Jordan Henderson. Manchester United, you have the likes of Christian Eriksen, Scott McTominay, Fred, Bruno Fernandes. Just listing players off the top of my head. I'm not saying those are the ones that they go for, but those are probably your options. Fabinho probably takes a spot.
Yes.
I figure.
Yeah, Fabinho without a doubt.
Absolutely.
He has to take a spot. I'll say one Manchester United, one midfielder, one Liverpool midfielder.
Ugh.
For the sake of balance.
Yeah, no, and it's probably fair just with the injuries Liverpool have to pick another one. And just also Henderson and Elliott haven't been playing their best. They've been playing all right. Probably Bruno, maybe Eriksen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Flip a coin between them. Get Fred in there
Definitely
if you feel
Bruno.
like it. I don't know.
Honestly, Bruno's been so bad. I'm even tempted to go Fred. Bruno's been so bad. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going based off of raw ability, top ability.
I'll go Eriksen.
Oh my! How he had such a bad game.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I'm saying Eriksen over Bruno, but it's so difficult. United's midfield's been so bad. It's been so bad.
Let's just go with Bruno and get it over with. I'd say.
Fine. All right. We'll go with Bruno Fernandes, even though that's an iffy one.
He can definitely pick up form again at some point.
And Benny G, who would your other Liverpool midfielder be?
Henderson.
Yeah.
Just
that's fair.
He's been the captain before. He's never a flashy player, but he does his job very, very well. So it's
that's
Henderson.
Fair. That's
you can always count on him.
For the front three, I think this one's going to be pretty simple. I'll say Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, and
Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
If you say Martial, I swear to God.
I scored Tony.
Old Martial that flopped at Sevilla.
I'd rather if we're gonna do that, I'd rather put Eriksen false 9 instead of instead of picking.
You saw what happened when Eriksen.
We already didn't pick Varane because he didn't play games, so come on.
Yeah, no, I'm only joking.
Let's not pick Martial.
I'll just say Cristiano Ronaldo because Liverpool have literally nobody. That's been only for that reason. Are we all agreeing with that?
I mean, there's no real satisfying way to do this, but yes, we're in agreement.
There it is. Well, there is your combined 11. We'll go back from both. We'll run it back from the beginning. Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Virgil van Dijk, Lisandro Martinez as a center back partnership, Andrew Robertson at left back, Fabinho holding at the anchor as the 6, alongside Bruno Fernandes and Jordan Henderson. And up front, you have the likes of Mohamed Salah on the right, Luis Diaz on the left, and Cristiano Ronaldo just making it in up front. Before we end it, score predictions for this game. Benny G, I'll start with you. How many will you score at Old Trafford? Or should I say, how many will Salah score at Old Trafford?
I'm thinking 3-0. Manchester United haven't scored a goal yet, and looking at those statistics, I think it's unlikely that they'll get one against Liverpool, even though Liverpool have conceded a few already. Just if you're facing a completely different side where Manchester United that have no hope are a possession team, so Liverpool's just gonna high press like crazy. So I think it's something very similar to Brentford could happen where they just can't get out of their half for a whole half.
That will go happen.
So, and the only way that's not gonna happen is if Ten Hag is like ditches the possession style and says, okay, you guys aren't ready for possession yet, so we're gonna play long ball or whatever he wants.
Volley ball.
Yeah, if
And we'll
he,
still lose.
I don't think he would want to do that. Those possession coaches, they like to stick to their philosophy no matter what, and just sit through the ugliness until it clicks for Manchester United. So, bottom line, 3-0, Manchester United won't get a sniff. Liverpool will put 3 past them.
That's fair.
I'm being generous with 3.
That's
Yeah.
that's very fair. And will it be a Mo Salah hat trick?
No, I think it'll be spread amongst, like, there'll be a midfielder, Salah will get a goal and an assist, and maybe Diaz.
Big header.
Everyone captain Mo Salah for your fantasy team because he's
Mm.
going to get the highest amount of points. And like, make sure you triple captain him. Like I said it in my.
No.
Nah, that's not. Nah, you triple
Not a good
captain for
idea.
double game weeks.
Gavin and Aiden. Oh my God. First week, man. What the hell?
Teilo, score predictions.
And I go with a boring 3-1, which maybe is not boring. But what I mean by that is just going to be kind of anticlimactic. Everyone's expecting, Liverpool 5 or 6 or something absurd like that. And that could
I don't think
definitely
they'll be
happen.
6.
And like, I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet either. This is the game for United to grab a random ass goal. Like, I'm thinking like Jadon Sancho against Man City, like that type of goal, like that, like really preceded unfortunate events. Like, I don't know. I think just the 1 goal, and then Liverpool will put a pretty comfortable 3. Like, I don't think Ten Hag will actually abandon style. Like, that'd be kind of a point. I mean, I said they need to take risks, but that's probably not the risk you want to take. You want to try and build cohesion. And like, if this is a game you're going to lose anyways, try playing your possession against the top side. Like, what do you have to lose at this point, other than staying at 20th? But that's kind of the point. If you're not going to win, just stick to your principles and then see what else can work within those principles, like new players and such. So I'm saying 3-1, like just kind of a relatively boring game, which I hope it's not, but that's the safe prediction to go with. I'll just go with that.
Fair enough. And lastly, Ben, over to you. Score predictions for this game.
Say something funny.
I'll be realistic. I'd say 2-1 Liverpool, to be honest. I think it'll be a closer game.
Yeah. Bold.
I predict Ronaldo header against Trent, obviously.
Yeah, I could see that, I guess.
No, they're gonna stick Big Dan on him. There's no way they don't. Or Van Dijk. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean,
imagine.
United needs strengthening regardless. Like they honestly, they don't, even in our combined 11, like they don't touch Liverpool, like in every position. I mean, if one of our friends were here, he'd probably say, well, if they signed Christian Pulisic and Serginho Dest, they have some pretty world-class players on their hands.
Hey,
pretty world-class.
Teilo, Chris Armas to
United
replace
head
Ten Hag.
Yeah.
That's what he texted us.
Who's Bradley's dad again? I forgot his name.
Bob Bradley.
Yeah, Bob.
Big bald fraud.
He's
not
bald
really
too.
a fraud.
So.
Just not that good of a coach. Like, he just plays like a very mediocre possession game. Like, it's people slated him too much for 2010, but he was also just picking weird 11s for no reason.
And there you go. Injury. There you have it. That is your Manchester United versus Liverpool preview. Hope to see a really good game coming this Monday. Thank you so much for your time watching this, and let us know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on the topics that have been in store in this feature of Premier League Primetime in the comments down below. Smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to check out our other platforms on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you are watching this in the world. We hope you have an absolutely fantastic day / evening.